Hey everybody, good afternoon. I hope y'all are doing well. This is my second video, and basically, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about myself. As I stated yesterday, I am a mom of three wonderful children that are grown, and I have my husband who is very near and dear to my heart, and they're just very good to me. They really help me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. Um, So, a little bit more about me. So, I do have delusional disorder, which only acts up occasionally, and then I have anxiety, depression, and I have chronic pain. Plus, I just started menopause, so it's like all of these things. That's why my face is broken out. I can't seem to get it to clear up. And when I try to use something to clear it up, it ends up by burning my face. So my skin has become very sensitive. But so I have a lot going on, but today's a great day. I feel really good. The pain is minimal. And so I just feel really good. Thank goodness. I like when I have days like this. It's wonderful. And what I wanted to talk about was how my anxiety started. Always kind of suffered with depression, but it seems like since I've gotten older, it's gotten to be a little bit worse. But the anxiety started when I was 43. I'd never had any kind of struggle with anxiety before, and I started to get harassed at work in a passive aggressive manner, and it was like over the top. And I really don't want to go into it that much. It's not important anymore, but I just want to give you some background. So that's how my anxiety started, and it really was severe anxiety, like constant, like I was scared to death. I thought someone was going to come hurt me. All sorts of things, like it was terrible. So that's why I tried to take my life 3 times because I had myself totally convinced that my kids, because of the way that I was behaving, my kids were kind of like, I know they were kind of wondering what was going on with mom because I was not the same person. And I felt like I was never going to be able to be that same person again, and that they didn't like me as much because I wasn't acting my normal way. I was overly protective and different things like that. So they didn't really know what was going on. But um, so after the third attempt, I ended up by being homeless. I was homeless for 8 months. Before that, I did stay in. Once they let me out of the hospital, I stayed in a like a like a transitional housing is what they call it, and you live in a house with a bunch of other people. Well, those people, one guy came into my room at night. I shared a room with two other ladies, a small room with two other ladies, and one of the residents came in our room with a knife one night, so that was scary. And I believe I was having seizures while I was laying in my bed, or actually, I think I was laying on the floor. I can't remember if I had a bed then or not. But so we had, yeah, one of the residents came in with a knife, and I don't, he was saying something, "Is she gone yet?" or something. I don't even know what he was talking about, but it freaked me out inside. Like I didn't react to it outwardly, but all inside. That's how I am. I keep everything inside, and it just really hurts you when you do keep things inside. It's not a good thing to do. But so, anyways, after that, decided I couldn't handle that anymore. And plus, I was trying to hold down two jobs and having all this anxiety. I was literally shaking on my way to work. I was shaking, and then like the stress was so high, I'd have stomach problems, and I literally have had several accidents on the way to work because my nerves were so shot. And so I decided, okay, the only thing I can do is just become homeless because I think that would be better for me mentally. Definitely, it was. So I ended up by being homeless for about 8 months, and believe it or not, that's where I met my husband. And so he told me you don't need to be out in the streets like this. So We both worked together. We got different jobs. We rang the bell for during Christmas for Salvation Army, which in Florida you get paid for that. So we did that. We sold newspapers. Trying to think of what else. And so we got off the streets really fast. Like I had already been there for about 8 months, but once we met each other, we were only out there for a couple more months, and then we got our own place. We didn't get our own place. We rented a room from a lady we knew from the Salvation Army, and we stayed there for about a year. And then after we moved from there, we did get our own apartment, and we were there for about, I believe, 2 years, and it was great and everything. And and I just increasingly, once I met my husband, I was getting, I started to get better. The anxiety was still there, and I was proceeded to go through school to be a care technician. It ended up I needed knee surgery, so I couldn't finish the externship, so I didn't get my diploma. Unfortunately, I feel so terrible about that, but I managed to do that all while having severe anxiety. I don't know how I did it because now my anxiety is a lot better, almost nothing most of the time. Now, the other day I had a couple of days actually this week that my anxiety was acting up. And other than that, my anxiety doesn't really act up much at all anymore. I have overcome that, and believe it or not, you can overcome it. Now, I am on medication. I can't be without the medication because I do have anxiety still. And if I don't take my medication like I'm supposed to, which I will admit, I do not always take my medicine every single day. Sometimes I forget. So when that happens, that's usually when my anxiety will act up. But for the severe anxiety, I don't have that. Thank God I don't have that anymore. Um, so I'm doing a lot better. So there is hope. So if you feel like you're, at the bottom of the barrel, like you're never going to be the same again, or you never think that things will get better, they will get better. You have to work at it in some way, shape, or form. However God has planned. If you believe in God, He's not just going to hand it to you on a silver platter. You have to work for it. So we worked hard to get out off the streets, and now we live with my daughter and her fiance. They've been gracious enough to allow us to stay with them. We want to get back out on our own again. It's just hard because I can really only work part time with everything physically and stuff that I'm dealing with. So I only work part time, and I do have like side things that I do on the side from my home. So that's good. My husband, he has problems with his back, so he's not been working. But he wants to start his own business. Once he starts his Social Security checks coming in, he wants to start his own business. So that'll be good. And if that happens, then we should be able to get out on our own again. But like I said, just because you're having a rough time, if you're feeling, really bad and things are not going your way, I'll tell you the number one thing you've got to do, you have got to see the positive in everything. Like, no matter what happens to you, find something positive in it. Just like me being homeless and going through all that anxiety, I believe it or not, I learned things when I was going through that, and it makes me the person that I am today. I've always been a good person, always been the same good, try to be the same good person I've always been. But you see things in a different light once you go through something that's very earth shattering, or anything like that. It changes you as a person. You see things differently. So that's the best advice I can give you. If you're feeling down the dumps, trust me, I still to this day, I struggle with my depression, like for no reason, like everything is going right. For no reason, I will have a really gloomy kind of day in my mind. And I do have something my kids bought me. I have a heat therapy, not heat therapy, it's called a light therapy lamp, and it is for people to treat people with depression and other ailments as well. If you're low on vitamin D, it's good for that too, which I happen to be low on vitamin D. So it's good for that. So look into that. Just Google light therapy lamp, and it'll come up. You'll see it come up, and it's a good investment. My kids just happened to find me one at the Goodwill, which was amazing, because we didn't know if it would really work or not. So it was great that we didn't have to spend a lot of money outright. So that's that. So look into the light therapy lamp. That will help with depression because it's a very bright light. And sometimes when I am feeling depressed more than usual, and it's like almost unbearable how bad it is sometimes. I go sit in front of the lamp, and just the fact that the light is so bright, it really helps because in Georgia we don't get like during the winter, it's very gloomy for months, and I haven't been exposed to that in like 35 years because I used to live in Illinois. Then we moved to Florida, and I lived there for most of my like high school years and then even adult life. So, and the sun always shines in Florida. I mean, very rarely is the sun not out. So, moving to Georgia, it was a big change because the winter is so gloomy. It's really given me that seasonal depression that goes around, when it's real gloomy and icky outside. So, yeah, the light therapy lamp, that is very helpful. And the lamp, it just, like replicates the sun, um, because it is so bright. So it automatically makes me feel a little bit better just because it's kind of like having the sun shining in your face. So I hope I'm not rambling on, but it's just a lot of things that I want to talk about. Um, so, uh, let's see. Let me see some other tips for anxiety. What can you? I hear people like they say the deep breathing helps. I have tried it and I try to do it, but sometimes I can't get my mind in the right place to be sitting there without like just deep breathing. Usually, what I end up by doing if I can't calm myself down, like I don't get noticeably, I don't have asthma attacks or anything, but I hold it all in. That's what, like I said, that's what I do with everything. I hold it all in, and it ends up just feeling heavy in the chest, and I get shortness of breath really easily. And so what I usually do is try to get my mind off of it. Um, the side jobs that I do, I try to work. So I try to like organize things or take merchandise out of the boxes or whatever the case may be for you. But I try to do something where I can still kind of sit still, but in a calm manner. But I can still be doing something to keep my mind off of it. I've also in the past made jewelry that is very helpful for anxiety. Making jewelry, anything working with your hands is really, really good because you are working a part of your body and then you're also having to think a lot, so that gets your mind off of anxiety and onto something productive. And so there's a couple of tips there. And I I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I've become very forgetful. It's really annoying. I'll be in the middle of saying something and then all of a sudden, bam, I can't remember what I was even talking about. But with the anxiety, I know I was gonna say. So with the anxiety, it's really weird. People think different things about anxiety. People that don't have anxiety have no idea what it's like. I will agree with that because I never had anxiety problems before, so I definitely had no idea what it entailed. But and everybody experiences things in a different way. But with me, I don't even have to be thinking about anything. Everything could be going great, and all of a sudden, like the next morning, I'll wake up and I have my chest feels heavy, and I just feel totally exhausted because not like tired, but your body feels like dead weight, and it's hard to carry your body around. So I understand what you're going through totally. Um, but like first and foremost, do see a doctor and get some advice from him or her. You do want to see a doctor and see a therapist as well. I've actually gotten, not since I've had anxiety, but I have gotten been hypnotized, and that has helped me in the past with grief and things like that. So the lady I had was just really fabulous. So I just wouldn't go to just any hypnotist. She just happened to be really superb in what she did. But so there, that's a couple things. But um, so, like, if any of you have any questions or anything, you can comment under the video if you'd like, or if you'd like to just message me privately, you can send me an email, and it is WATERSD4371 at yahoo.com. You can email me there and ask me whatever questions you might have. Like I said, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a professional therapist or anything like that. I'm just a regular person. But I do know you learn a lot of things from experience. So that's what I'm just providing you all with is things that I've learned from my experience. So, and here comes my husband. And I thought he was going to say something. So, yeah, just leave me a message down below or you can email me and I'll be happy to give you any suggestions or, opinion or whatever you need. Uh, let's see what else. And I don't want all my videos to be about suicide and mental health, but I do want to focus on it a lot because it is really important. A lot of people don't talk about it. And it needs to be talked about more because people that are suffering will be more likely to come and tell you what is going on if they know they're not going to be treated like a second class citizen because of it. So um, so that's what I really want to get the message out about that. And hopefully we can do some fun things along the way because I think that would be great to do some fun things. And like I said, I'll try to loosen up some. I'm used to working in a courtroom setting. That's what I did for 11 years. Before that, I worked at Publix for 17 years. And but my most recently was the courthouse. And if you've ever seen Law and Order, you see nobody has a smile on their face, and that's why I don't smile a lot because I'm so used to not being able to show any emotion. Because in the courtroom, they don't allow you to show any emotion when you work in the courtroom. So it's something I have to get past. And plus, sitting here talking to a camera is difficult as it is. But so I think I'll end for today, or for now. Maybe I'll do another one later. I'm not really sure. I have to work today. I do have a part-time job, and I work from home. All right. So take care. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.